I've taken myself away from the madness of Spree for a little while, and I've come to the cultural quarter of Waterford, to the Viking Triangle, to see what it has to offer to the visitor who comes to this city. You're the director of the Waterford Museum of Treasures, and we spoke to you 4 years ago when all of this Viking Triangle and the museums were really a dream and an aspiration.
Indeed, they were, Mary. They were just a dream at that stage, but we've been a lot of hard work and, of course, great support from Fáilte Ireland, financial support from Fáilte Ireland, and Waterford City Council has put together this great urban renewal project and tourism development project, really.
So if somebody comes along here and says, I'm going to do the Viking Triangle, I'm going to do the museums, what exactly will they see?
Well, I suppose the way we've summed up is they're going to see 1,000 years of Irish history, literally in 1,000 places, starting at Reginald's Tower, then into the Medieval Museum, and then here to the Bishop's Palace, where you'd take up the history from the 17th century onwards.
1,000 paces, that's not a huge amount to ask of anybody.
No, it's not, Mary, and there are lots of different ways of taking the tour. You can either take a walking tour of the space, the Viking Triangle, or you can take a V-guide tour. It's an electronic guide, which is actually a video footage and recreations of buildings and that on the guide. There'll also be, within the museums, there will be reenactor guides, like character guides. There will be the typical kind of academic tour, if you wish to.
For me, the only way to actually explore it is to do the tour myself. So I'm going to do that, but I will be back to you because you did promise me a preview of the Medieval Museum, which isn't opening actually to the end of the month.
That's correct, Mary, yes, yeah,
so
the end of August, yes.
So I'll hold you to that promise.
Yep.
I'll be back in a little while. Don't go away. See you in a while.
See you
Bye.
later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, as Eamon was saying, there are many ways of taking the tour, and I have opted for the technology route because I'm so good at that. I can tell you, if this works for me, it will work for anybody. Paul Savage is the creator of the device. Is it user-friendly?
It is. You can't get more user-friendly.
Good.
We spent a lot of time working with the TSSG research group and Waterford Institute of Technology to develop state-of-the-art technology that brings the tour alive automatically. You don't even have to do anything to experience the full tour. You just walk and it will show you and tell you the story.
Okay, so all I have to do now is press start.
You press start.
And I'm off on my merry way.
Start your walk.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Well, my V-Guide has just told me that this is City Hall and the Theatre Royal, built in 1783 by honest John Roberts as assembly rooms for the merchant classes. Now, nothing on there at the moment, but it could be a place to come back to in the evening for a little bit of theatre, perhaps. My first port of call is Reginald's Tower, and it's one of 3 museums on the tour. Richie Ryan is my guide, or should I say, Mayor Wise.
Hello, Mary. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thomas Wise was Mayor of Waterford City in 1689. Now, this building is a very unique building, unique for a number of reasons. It's the oldest civic building in Ireland of continuous use. In 800 years, it's never been empty or idle. It's been a prison on 2 occasions. It's been a mint at least 3 times. It's been home of the High Constable of the city for almost 100 years. And in 1954, it became a museum, and it's been a museum since.
Yep, this is it. This is my next stop. It's Greyfriars Art Gallery, and apparently there's an exhibition here. It's called Around the City in 10 Pictures. Really want to have a look at that. Next door is the Franciscan Monastery. This place has seen many uses over the years. It was founded in 1240 and called Greyfriars from the colour of the habits that the monks wore. In 1693, part of it was given to the French Protestant Huguenots, and it's believed that it was they who introduced the blas to Waterford. I've no doubt they brought their fabulous French wines and cheeses with them as well, but it's the humble blas that the Huguenots are credited with, and it remains a famous Waterford staple. And isn't it just typical? They give me a blas, but do you see any wine? Do you see any cheese? No. Story of my life. I'm really looking forward to my next stop on the tour. I'm so excited to be getting a sneak preview of the brand new Medieval Museum. Rupert Maddock, you're the architect of this very impressive building. I presume it wasn't without its challenges?
No, it's been our own Olympics actually, Mary, in its own way. It started about, I suppose, 2 years ago, and there was, because of the complexity of the site, there was a substantial amount of enabling works or pre-contract works that need to be undertaken. There was archaeology, and there's a historic structure there, the medieval undercroft, which had to be conserved. There was buildings that had to be taken down. There was endless things that had to be done before the actual main contractor could come on site. So it's been a long, long road, very challenging site, logistically challenging, but we're coming to the end of it now, and we're very happy to see the project nearly complete.
Busy at work inside is Eamon McEnany putting the final touches to the new museum. Where exactly are we now?
Well, now we're partly below ground in what's known as the Choristers' Hall. It's part of the medieval deanery that was built in about 1270 here in Waterford by the Bishop of Waterford, Stephen Fulbourn, who was also the Governor of Ireland.
And the museum has been built on top of this?
Yes, it's the first time in Ireland that a medieval building has been incorporated into a modern build.
It's amazing.
It's a wonderful building.
Absolutely. This is such a strong structure. So what about the artefacts that you have here in the medieval?
The artefacts for the medieval museum, I suppose, relate to this building and the wine cellar above. The wine cellar deals with the trade of Waterford, so it's about the importation of wine with a great wine port. And then the wonderful artefacts associated with this building here are the vestments. The dean who lived here in the 1460s bought. They were made in Florence and Bruges. They're the only set of cloth of gold high mass vestments to survive in the whole of Northern Europe. They were buried for 125 years, and they're rediscovered in 1773. And they're now completely conserved and going to be on display, and they're absolutely magnificent. They're a really wonderful work of art.
You must be really looking forward to the opening of the medieval
We are
museum.
indeed, and we're looking forward to having lots of visitors.
My guide has brought me the short hop from the Medieval Museum to the Christ Church Cathedral, where Dean Maria Jansen is waiting to show me around.
Morning, Mary.
Dean, what a lovely building.
You're very welcome to Christ Church.
Let's have a little walk and see the beauty of it.
Well, the building, people have been worshipping on this place for 1,000 years. And it's one of the surprises of Waterford. A lot of Waterford people haven't been inside it. It's stunning.
It is.
A lot of people across the country don't know it's one of the most important Georgian buildings on these islands. It's a place of worship, but we have an arts programme, and we've appointed a new arts manager, Mary Brennan, and we're intending to open the place for the full year, not just the summer season. Welcome everybody in unconditionally, welcome them to new events. Welcome to come in and find peace in the place. And it doesn't matter, you can worship in this place, or sit quietly in this place, or find beauty in this place, or find that the arts events in it, or the liturgical events in it, open your mind and your heart, and you belong, you connect.
I'm an absolute vulture for culture today, and I've one more stop to make. It's another museum, the Waterford Museum of Treasures, and it's housed in this magnificent building behind me. It's the Bishop's Palace, and this is where Waterford history is brought right up to the present day. Can you guess whose shoes are in there? So what have we here, Rosemary?
Here, Mary, you have the Hucklebuck shoes of Brendan Boyer. He danced in those in 1964, and they were very kindly donated to Waterford Museum of Treasures by the people of Waterford, as they have donated many of the objects on this floor. This room is devoted to the showband era, and we have a room about childhood, a room about the war, and going backwards then in time, the beginning of this floor is Redmond and Ballybricken. So Waterford's history, Waterford's story from about 1890, going right up to 1970. The other floor is laid out in a quite different way as a historic house, in the style of an 18th century Bishop's Palace, which this building is. So the objects are displayed in the building of their time. So I suppose high points really are those three absolutely splendid carved and gilded mirrors which are in the drawing room. And we have gorgeous 18th century silverware. And another highlight is a display of 18th and 19th century Waterford glass. So that's really a very splendid display in the dining room, which is really devoted to glass.
Do you know, it's hard to believe that I have managed to fit in so much between history and culture in such a small area. It really is 1,000 years of history in 1,000 paces.